The surrender principle in spirituality isn't this universal thing in all situations. You're not going to just surrender all the time and let go and go with the flow with everything. That's not going to yield the best results. That's not going to yield the fastest results. Yes, there are times and places for surrendering and letting go, but just try to notice in your life if you're using that as an excuse for not doing the things that you need to be doing. Taking care of your body, getting off of TikTok after an hour of scrolling and going outside and sitting down and meditating for 10 minutes, which can be really hard, to get out of that addiction is difficult, first of all, and then to go sit down and be present and connect with just present consciousness, that takes effort. You have to kind of push yourself to do that. And you'll thank yourself later for doing that. So sometimes going with the flow and just surrendering to what's going on is surrendering to, sometimes you're surrendering to a neurotic pattern in your life that's actually keeping you weighted down and is not furthering your spiritual development. There are times where you do need to take real action and you need to do hard things and do the physical work, because we are human beings in the physical world going through time, and that requires us to do things that we don't like to do sometimes to get the things that we want, because we are in time, and that means that to get to a place a couple of years, a couple of months in the future that we find desirable, that we're going to have to do things now and act on them to get them. The law of karma is that there are consequences for our actions. Basically, that the actions that we take right now are going to yield results in the future. Like what you plant, what you are planting in your fields is what you're going to harvest when the harvest comes around, when you're ready to glean those crops. Sometimes I can get into a place where of inaction, of not wanting to do the hard thing to get my life to where I want it to be, because I'm using the idea of surrender in a misused way. Surrender is so important and necessary for your spiritual development. And there are specific times and places for that you must surrender to get to where you're wanting to go. Certain awakenings, like I am not my body, require surrendering your complete identity as a human being, as this person. But that doesn't mean inaction. That doesn't mean not doing things. That doesn't mean, if you want your physical life to have certain aspects of it that you don't have right now, that means that you are going to have to do something for it. You're not going to, if you want to be in shape and fit and keep your body a healthy piece of meat to house this soul, you're going to have to get outside and do some physical activity. You're going to have to put the right ingredients in your stomach. Even though it's not as, eating spinach and salads and vegetables, making sure you're getting your servings of fruit and vegetables every day, maybe that's not as enjoyable. Maybe that's harder than, stuffing some donuts down your throat. But there are times that we have to do the hard thing and do the work. Do the work. You have to sometimes do the work for the ultimate life and spiritual development that you want. Not all the time. You have to kind of find the balance. Where do you need to surrender? Where do you need to let go? And where do you need to actually be doing the thing that you don't want to be doing? Where do you need to be doing the thing that's hard? Where do you need to actually be doing the physical action instead of just kind of letting things float by? A lot of the time, probably most of the time, I need to be doing the hard work to have financial freedom, to have a healthy body, so that I can create the ideal conditions to have the freedom to develop myself spiritually and do the things that I need to do for my soul's development. If you are resonating with what I'm saying in this video, that means that you're probably on the path to spiritual awakening. And if you don't know where you are in that process, I've actually created a free quiz, which I'm going to link down below, where you can find out what stage of the 6 stages of spiritual awakening that you're in, and then like what you need to do to get to the next stage, and kind of understanding where you are in your path towards greater spiritual development.